don't pull that finger. I'm going to make a video. Yeah, what do you think it's going to be? Well, got a bunch of action figures over here on the stand. So, stands to reason it's going to have something to do with action figures. Yeah. How about we open another 6 figures? I've actually got 3 episodes of 6 figures I want to crunch through tonight. We'll see. It's kind of chilly out here. We'll see how many I can get through. I'd like to get them all done tonight because I need my table for some actual work. So, we're going to get them. I got some vintage collection for you today. That's what we're going to talk about. Alrighty, I'm just going to sit them right here in front of everything. A couple of these are repeats and reruns that I've opened before at one point or another. But a couple of them are fairly new. I'm going to go through the old stuff. So, clearance rack. Actually, I don't remember if this one was actually clearance or it was just marked down. Anyway, card's all kind of fucked up on it. So, I don't have to feel too bad about butchering the packaging. And clearance item, I got a second ObiWan, so I'm just going to go ahead and open this second one up, along with the fact that I did get 2 of this guy, so this will be the second time I've opened him. And then the same thing, I was able to get Hunter twice now. I got 2 of them. So that's the second time I'll be opening Hunter. And I got a Lando. I don't know what I'm going to do with this Lando. I've already got this Lando. So I guess I got a spare. But I don't need to keep him in the package. This guy was marked down. They wanted to get rid of him. So they got rid of 3 of them. So this one is Cob Vanth with all the fancy stuff. I'll just go ahead and get him opened and out of the way as well. And then this one here, though, however, is all by himself. I just got him the other day. Embarrassingly, I paid full price for it, but I went ahead and did it because I was like, well, I'm just going to get one. But I wasn't crazy about the price. I think they're making a move. I think they're trying to get they're going to try to get $20-some. I think it was like $25, close to. And I'm hoping that's not what they expect to try to sell these for. If it is, I'm out at that point. Because I'm only getting stuff when I see it marked down on clearance. A couple of times I've gotten things on eBay where I was like, okay, I can get these 3 figures that I don't have, and I get them at a decent price. It's less than the $16 that they're selling them for off the racks at the stores. And, usually it's like somewhere around at least half of that. But now they're putting these things out. They found out they could convince a few people to buy this at like 20-some bucks. And now they're trying to do that with this. You know, and I have a handful of action figures from back in the day that were fully articulated like this, with backpacks that come on and off, and pistols and rifles and all kinds of stuff. And it's been, I mean, that's been 15, almost, within the last 20 years, they've had that full articulate and stuff. And it was all under $10 back in, prior to 2009. The action figures were like $8-9, roughly. And that was when it was Saga Collection and the original Trilogy Collection, which was kind of what this was, this old school card. Anyway, I don't know what the money grab is all about. Besides, they're just trying to get extra money for this stuff. And it's kind of, it kind of kills the hobby. Because, I mean, if you ask me, $6 ought to be what the price is for one of these action. It's an action figure. For $6, that's a fair price for an action figure. I don't care how much articulation you put into it. It's under $10 in my mind is still an action figure. You know what I mean? $10 is enough for an action figure. That's just how I feel about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe my brain's not catching up with inflation. I just know that that's just a lot more than I would that you should have to pay for an action figure, especially 3 3/4 inch. That's just getting kind of crazy. That's why mostly my collection consists of clearance items. Most of the time, I'm getting things that are clearance items. That's why and that's still probably too much money to be spending on stuff. But, I do it because it's fun to do on the YouTube channel. But, man, I tell you what, I don't pay full price for these things. I can tell you that right now. I just, I find them when there's good deals on them. And I'm in an area where there's not a lot of collectors getting stuff off of the store shelves. So when I find them, I'm usually within a day or two of them stocking the shelves. That's when I find them. And that's, and I don't get the whole, I'll get a couple at a time when I'm getting them. But, most of the time I'm getting them on clearance and at markdown. And a lot of the stores I'm getting them from, they get them in stock and they don't have shelf space allocated for them. And it's not a high priority item because it's not a high sales item. So it's going right through the management. They just put it, they're like, that stuff, we take it right to the clearance aisle, put it right out there and get it. The collectors will come get it. It'll be gone in a week. And that's kind of how they're handling it. I mean, it works out great for people like me who, I go into these stores where no collectors are up here where I'm at. So I find the stuff and I get it for, like $6, that's fair. That's cool. That's a good price. But, you go down in the middle of Michigan where there's more people, more collectors. You go into a Walmart down there and you find the latest waves will actually be there and they're full price. But, when they get those up here, if they actually get it in the store, it literally goes right out to the clearance racks because they don't have the space allocated on the shelves, which means Hasbro hasn't paid for that commercial space. So when it gets to the store doesn't actually have a physical chunk of the shelving block for it to go on. So they're like, mark it down, put it on the end cap or something, or get it to the clearance aisle. And that's how they handle it. So it works out great for me. But unfortunately, I did pay full price for this, and it was 20 something. I think it was like $25, and that's what I'm kind of complaining about. So we got 9 minutes of me complaining about these action figures. How about I open them? They're all reruns, except for the Mandalorian Super Commando. I'm going to save him for last because he's the best out of this bunch because I've opened all these guys before. So I'm going to be quick about this here. He is the rocket launcher trooper. Yeah. Because I've opened him before and this package is already kind of fucked up. So we're just going to push through it. Oh, it's still doing an okay job, but, you know, it's all smashed up and stuff. So I'll put that card in the thing. And as always, we throw the little booklet away. And and there you go. All righty. Oh, we've seen this before. All right, we've seen it in one of the last videos. Very cool. Very nice. Now this one, I remember the other one was a pain in the ass to get him in a posable position. So I'm going to get one hand on there and the other is going to fall on the floor. Oh, how did I do this last time? It took me a second to get him. Whoop, I knocked him all over. There we go. The hand, can you even see it? You can't. No, because I have it viewed where I can see it. But anyway. Well, I do remember this one being a pain in the butt before, because I just want him to hold that rifle and yeah, he won't fucking hold on to it. Sometimes action figures just piss me off. There. There. You just got to be holding on to the thing. And let's see what we're going to do with your foot. There. There. Man, some of these figures, man, they're just a pain in the ass to get them in a standing position. There. Move that foot. There. That's better. Get over here by Mr. Gideon. Moff Shidian. There we go. Alrighty. Let's get that over there. Let's open up this Obi-Wan Cornelius here. Yummy. I'm just going to get him out of the package. Yeah, you've seen him before. You don't care. This one is the Jedi Legend. So he's got that cool tunic and stuff. So I'll probably will pull the tunic off of this one and put that tunic on another figure to do a little bit of changing up. I won't really call that kit bashing too much because you're just taking an article off of one and putting it on another. But, you know. Add a little bit of, maybe a little bit of dyeing to the fabric to make it look weathered. Then that would be getting into the kit bashing. And then maybe augmenting the figure so that it's a little farther away from the figure that it was originally. With some paint apps and the modification, hand swaps, that kind of stuff. You know, that's when I buy an extra figure. A lot of times that's what will end up happening to it, is it will get head swapped or body swapped, arms and legs and stuff. Some of these figures have like 2 or 3 different ways to pose them, so sometimes I'll do a different version of the same figure. But the Mandalorian ones, you know, you got the ones that have the head swap where you either have a helmet that comes on and off, or you have the actual head swap. Like Fennec Shan has a head swap. She has one head that's a helmet and one head that is her, you know, the normal Fennec Shan had. That gets away from having to have the helmet fit perfectly. And it makes sense, you know. It gives you a couple different ways to display the figure. So you don't lose one of those heads. You're good. So, my Fennec Shan, the one that is on the bike, the one that's riding the bicycle, I'm sorry, the one that is on the speeder bike, not a bicycle. One that's on the speeder bike, that particular one has the helmeted head. And then I have another one that is in Jabba's palace, sitting up there next to Princess Leia in the metal bikini, and she's got her jug, and she's literally passing the jug of drink over to Leia. So, you know, and there's a party going on in Jabba's palace in that particular little scene, and it's kind of cool to look at. There's even one of my slave Leias is pole dancing. Yep, because I got 3 slave Leias so far off of eBay and other used sites. The idea was that eventually I'll do some head swaps and some paint apps, and there will be one Princess Leia and a couple other slave dancers in Jabba's palace hanging out. So here we go. We got another Obi-Wan. I got him all put together. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this one as is with the cloak on it. I'll put this guy... I'm going to put him up there on the top of the shelf. You can't really see what's going on back there, can you? Because these guys are blocking it. It's kind of small, but, you know, if you pinch and zoom in, you can see what's going on back there. So why don't you do that while I'm rambling? Because I'm just a rambling man. Because I'm a rambling. Alrighty. Here we go. We're opening up Hunter. I don't need to give you a big close-up of that, do I? Yeah, you've seen it before. Hunter. Oh, there you go. I do miss this, though. I wish they would go back to this. It was so much nicer to know what figures were actually in that wave. And that's all we were getting in figure waves was around, you know, 6 to 8 figures each time. So it kind of made it nice to look at the back of that and go, oh, these are the ones I need to look for. Okay. But I don't know. All right, Hunter, we're going to put you in there. There we go. There's that little booklet that we never read. There we go. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get his pistol out. Oh, luckily it landed on my leg. His helmet. Oh, yeah. He's got his backpack. He's got a dagger. All right. Alrighty. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get his dagger over here where it belongs. There we go. Alrighty, let's see here. Seemed to me that he had a place for his pistol to go, but I guess I'm mistaken. So, one hand's got the pistol. One hand has the big gun. All right, here we go. Das ist Hunter. There, if I get them in front of me, they focus a lot better. I remember that from the last video. All right. Just try to get in there where you can see the weapon. There you go. Now you can see a good focus. And then the backpack. I get around like that. There you go. Now you can see some real good detail on that. All right. Okay, that's enough of that. We saw Hunter before, but I think he looks cool. For some reason, I got my Hunter and Crosshair hanging out over here with, what the hell's his name? Oh, Moff Gideon. There you go, Hunter. And that works. Oh, he's kind of leaning on that rifle. That's better than nothing, though. There. Lean on me. Call that good. I bring the helmet up here. So with an extra Hunter, that gives me the option to put one with his helmet on and one with his helmet off. I'm just going to put his helmet right in front of him. Oh, I knocked over Bo-Katan over here. There. There. No. I called her Bo-Katan. That's not Bo-Katan. That's Sabine Wren. Silly. All right. Hey, let's go ahead and get one of these clearance items out of the way. Let's get Lando out here. We'll put a Lando up here with the rest of them. Stand him up there next to Obi-Wan. One of my favorite things to do on my shelf is to put characters together completely out of context. Like I put a young Rey and a young Leia together. And I had the Endor Leia with the poncho. And I took one of my Reys and did some kit bashing to her. And so that I could put the helmet on her and have Rey as an Endor rebel soldier. So what that does for my diorama is it allows me to just have that action figure as an extra in the mix of all the Endor rebel soldiers and stuff. I'll put Lando's card over here. Look at all those fancy kits. What did it come with? It came with, oh, you know, I wasn't collecting quite yet when those were out. This was like a year or two before me getting back into it. I seen them all hanging there on the shelves. Seems like when I wasn't collecting, I was always seeing. And then when I got back into collecting, it's very, very rarely do I see the figures. Comparatively to what it used to be. And this is a cloth cape Lando too. This is a very it's a good action figure. I remember maybe I didn't get Lando. No, this is the one that I got. It's got, yeah, this it was the Bespin Lando. I got the Skiff Guard one. I think maybe once or twice. But there we go. There we go. That looks cool. I don't know why Lando is always such a peg warmer. Like, it was until just recently that there's been a Lando hanging on the pegs for, God, a good 3-4 years now. If I could go to Walmart in almost any store, I'd be guaranteed to find a Lando. And I remember that from back in the day, and in the 90s. It was a peg warming figure. Everybody had a Lando. Everybody knew that collected had Lando. That wasn't a problem, but there were just some figures they produced, like so many of them, and they put them on the shelves that, unless it was a figure you were going to collect a bunch of, then like Stormtrooper. But for some reason, there was always just a buttload of Landos on the shelf. And then this particular one, too. This particular Lando. I don't remember that being the case with Skiff-Guard Lando. Because I think mainly because you can do paint apps and you can make him look like several different characters. So I don't know. I'm rambling anyway. Lando's a cool character. This is a nice action figure. It really is. It's just that I don't know why Lando becomes a peg warmer. I think maybe they need to release at the end of Empire Strikes Back when Lando was flying the Millennium Falcon. He had one of Han's vests in the white shirt, and he had that attire on. I think people would greatly appreciate it if we were to receive that version of Lando. Come on, Hasbro. If you're listening, come on, Hasbro. If you can do that, you can make me a better Lando. Come on. You know which one I haven't gotten yet is General Lando. For some reason, I did not get that one. And I know that they made it in 3 3/4 and in recent years, because I do remember seeing it on the shelves. I think some of those may have been repacks from the earlier series. But I don't know. It's possible that they're done with repacks. Like when they release a figure, a lot of times now they release. It's not the same figure that you would have gotten originally. It's not an updated version of that, or it's an updated, redrawn, resculpted version of that figure. So I remember a time when they would squeeze this much stuff into one of these small cards, like a regular action figure card. And I know you remember it too, with all this extra shit. There was a time when they would release an action figure and they would just squeeze all that extra stuff into the package. And I know it's possible, and you know it's possible, because we've all seen them do it previously. So my only thing with calling out their bullshit on this is why the money grab? Why the money grab? Does it cost that much? I think what's happening is there isn't a action figures collector's market like there was 10, 15 years ago. For a while there, we had collectors coming and going in the action figure world, which meant for every collector that would decide to take a break from collecting, I'm just going to bring these things out and just show them really quick. We got his... You can head swap him and make him be a Mandalorian. As the inside of there, see with the little... Yeah, I don't know if you can really see that dark spot in the middle. That's for the wobble head joint on these action figures. If you pop his head off, you can remove the scarf even, which is kind of cool. I'm going to go ahead and put jetpack on here, and there we go. He's got flames coming out of his jetpack. That's kind of cool. Yay. And, oh, you son of a bitch. There we go. I don't know why I'm putting the flames in his jetpack. It's just more of a pain in the ass than it's worth, but... Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and fight with those. I guess we can tell them jetpacks to just fuck off, because I'm not messing with that. Oh, sometimes arthritis and action figures don't get along. Because like right now, my hands hurt so bad trying to manipulate this tiny little thing. And my eyes are bothering me because I can't focus on him. All right. Get that back in the spot it's supposed to be. There you go. Let's get this where it belongs. Come on. There we go. Alrighty. Now I just need to get the toes positioned right. There we go. So he's got the backpack on, which means I kind of need to lean him forward a little bit. There we go. Lando fell off. Let me get him back up here. Lando, you dropped your rifle. Put your rifle back in your hand there. Now, back over here and you stand next to ObiWan like you're supposed to be. Come on. I'm going to turn your head a little to the right. There you go. There we go. That works. Put these two little orange balls of flame over there. Here. Did I show you him up close? I'll give you that quick. There we go. All that. All that. Look at that. Very, very cool. So what's really cool is over here on the shelf I have the other version of him. I'm going to grab him really quick. Hopefully he doesn't fall over. I'm going to show them both next to each other because I just happen to have them both on the shelf right now. It'd be a shame not to take advantage of it. Cob Vanth with and without the Mandalorian armor. Check that out. There we go. That was pretty wild. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Mandalorian Cob over here. And put the other one over here. Hopefully they will both stand. Awesome. And awesome. And now, I'm at the bitter end of this video because I'm on my last one. It's this guy right here from the Ahsoka series. It is the Mandalorian Super Commando. Yeah. I swear I got this one already, though. I'm going to check my Mandalorian shelf when I get in the house. And I almost think that I got this one once before. Or perhaps a different, maybe this is a different version. But Mandalorian Super Commando, I swear I got this figure before. But for some reason, it's making me think that this is a new one. So, I don't know. I will check my Mandalorians up on the shelf. And I'll see if I've actually already got this guy. Because if I already have him, that means what they've done is they've done a total repack. Which means they released the same figure. And perhaps an Ahsoka package instead of a Clone Wars package or something like that. I don't know. Mandalorian Super Commando in Ahsoka. I'm going to have to watch Ahsoka again. I don't know if I remember a Mandalorian Super Commando from the Ahsoka season. So this must be... It has to be a character from the second season. Maybe they're teasing next year's... Because there wasn't a Mandalorian Super Commando in the Ahsoka season. I don't remember it, anyway. I don't remember them working on... I remember Mandalorian. Having a bunch of that stuff, but... I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Do you remember this figure being in... this character being in Ahsoka? I do not. It makes me think... It makes me think that they're teasing characters for the next Ahsoka season. Because, man, I remember watching Ahsoka a couple times. I don't remember seeing no Mandalorian Super Commando in the Ahsoka show. Man, it's driving me nuts. Tell me in the comments if you remember that, because I don't. I honestly don't. I mean, I can watch it again. Twist my arm. It's a Star Wars show, and it's filled with hot chicks. They're all fucking hot. They are all beautiful. I shouldn't call them hot because I'm being misogynistic, but, you know, you put any chick in some Star Wars, and it's immediately going to make me go, hey, you're Star Warsy. But, you know, Rosario Dawson is not ugly, and the gal that played Sabine Wren is not ugly, and the Shin Hati's, the actress that plays Shin Hati, Shin Hati, whatever, not ugly. And what's the other gal from that show? The Twi'lek. The general, can't remember her name. the green Twi'lek chick. Anyway, General Syndulla. She is not ugly. So, when I say the Ahsoka show is full of hot chicks dressed in Star Wars, I mean that. Those chicks are hot. And the fact that they're in Star Wars makes them even hotter. So maybe I'm just maybe I'm focused on paying too much attention to them, and I completely missed the part with all the Mandalorians. Because I honestly do not remember ever seeing this guy in the Ahsoka show. Do you? I don't. So this one is kind of difficult. Doesn't want to hold the rifle, but he looks like maybe he could be holding it in the other hand. Some of these figures are very, very hard to get the rifles in a shooting position in the hand. Very difficult. There, that's better. And for good measure, I always like to get a second hand on the top of the barrel for two reasons. It gives me 2 points of articulation on the weapon. And it makes it easier for me to pose this figure. Okay, so the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have the jetpack on there. And that is probably going to make it, it's going to make it balance out pretty darn good. Okay, so I want to move the legs in just a tad. That's better. All right, look at that. This guy will kick your ass. Look at that. Very, very cool. Very cool. Let's get a good look at that jetpack. Very cool. Lieutenant Dan, he showed me his Mandalorian buttocks. Then he farted on me. Okay. Very cool. The only thing I gotta complain about really is I think they cost way too much money. So I'm gonna get over here with that one because in between these videos I am trying to get a picture of him. I'll get him there. I'm trying to move Hunter over here next to him. That's because Hunter's leg is kind of turned weird. There you go. There we go. Will that work? Hunter looks like he's in a real generic pose for some reason. don't get it. Alrighty. That's way better. Okay. There. It takes a second sometimes to get them posed. This is way too long of a video. I must have been yakking. Alright. That's enough for that. 6 figures. We opened, well, I'll go back through them real quick. We opened up a rocket launcher trooper. That's the guy with the red cauldron over here. We opened up an ObiWan Kenobi, a Jedi legend, a Lando Calrisian. He's got his fancy blue outfit on. Former peg warmer. We got us a Hunter action figure was our next one, I believe. And then we had Cob Vanth in the Boba Fett with the Boba Fett stuff on him, and get your helmet over here with you. And then our last one was our Mandalorian Super Commando, and that yeah, that gave us our 6 figures for today, for this particular video. We got one more coming up, well, actually 2 more. So pay attention, more videos coming up. I promise we'll get quicker at these, but sometimes, you know, it just takes a minute. I'll catch up with y'all later. Happy YouTubing. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and make fun of me. Whatever. All right, bye.